This month on ABN AMRO World Hockey, we look at how Australia wrapped up the Olympic qualifying race at the Oceania Cup. We move to Chennai and glance at India's resounding Asia Cup win over Korea. We get up close and personal with Taki Takemar, thought by some to be the best drag flicker in the game. A look at the cornerstone of Spain's striking prowess, tracing Santi Fresha's road to recovery. And the Indian women's team learns from one of the best coaches in the world, Dutchman Herman Cruz. The details of the Olympic qualifying tournaments have been announced after 9 of the 12 Olympic participants were finalised. The qualifying tournaments that will decide the remaining spots will begin at Auckland, New Zealand. Great Britain and India will be among the teams battling it out in Santiago, Chile from March the 1st. And Kakamegara in Japan will be the venue for the third leg, where world champions Germany will hope to qualify. In the women's lineup, New Zealand leap into the qualifiers list after a win at the Oceania Cup. Baku in Azerbaijan will see the women slug it out. Spain have to go through the grind. And Belgium and India, among others, will play in Kazan, Russia on the 19th of April. Malaysia will host the 2007 Men's Samsung Champions Trophy. The event will be played in the National Hockey Stadium in Kuala Lumpur from the 29th of November till the 9th of December 2007. Malaysia agreed to host the event after the FIH decided it was impossible to play it in Pakistan for security reasons. Ben Hawes, the former England captain who was surprisingly dropped for the recent European Cup, needed major facial reconstruction after being hit in the face by a ball during a pre-season warm-up game for his club Surbiton. The 27-year-old, who returned to England after playing a season in the Dutch League in an attempt to make the Great Britain Olympic team, was initially expected to miss the whole winter. But after undergoing a successful operation, he is expected to resume playing within weeks. The 2007 Oceania Cup was the battleground for Australia and New Zealand, with the men trying to win the only Olympic qualifying spot on offer. The Australians look like the favourites to go through in both the women's and men's competitions, but with 2 qualifying spots available for the women, the New Zealand team seemed confident of winning their ticket to Beijing. In the group stages, the Kookaburras had annihilated Papua New Guinea, scoring 35 goals against them. The Kiwis had done even better, with 39 goals against the Minnows, to send out a clear message to the Aussies. The final between Australia and New Zealand was played out in front of an enthusiastic crowd, eager to see a game of quality hockey. And the first half delivered the promise of a pulsating match, with the Aussies on the attack straight away, only to be kept out by some quality defending from the Kiwis. Then in the 17th minute, Australia had an opportunity. A second penalty corner, and Tasmanian David Guest didn't disappoint, drawing first blood for his team. The goal seemed to spur the Aussies on. They surged forward in offence, notching up some breathtaking attempts on the Kiwi goal. Trailing 1-0, New Zealand held on to their nerve, building their own attempts at goal. And their efforts paid off. In the 33rd minute, a backstick shot from David Kossoff whizzed past goalkeeper Stephen Lambert and gave New Zealand the crucial equaliser going into half-time. But the Kookaburras came back strongly in the second half and they regained the lead through a diving Bevan George, deflecting the drag push high into the net. The Kiwis are under pressure now, their Olympic qualification berth slowly slipping away. But Barry Dancer's men were not done. 12 minutes to go for the final hooter. Eddie Ockenden orchestrated a defence-splitting through ball that found Travis Brooks, who made it 3-1 to Australia. The Kiwis had a chance to narrow the margin before the hooter, but the opportunity went begging, the writing on the wall. Australia won the final, and with that a qualification berth for the Beijing Olympics.
We've got a chance to plan our next 10 months, and certainly we want to get a good program, and obviously we've got a chance now to do that with some certainty about where we face the next opposition. So we can plan. We've got the opportunity, I think, as a group to really start to work hard together. I think we've got a team that's probably going to be better than the one in Athens. We've developed a team. It'll be a more mature team. We've got a team that knows the conditions from experience last month, but we've got a fair bit of work to do in the next 10 months, that's for sure.
We played pretty good. Good 70 minutes. We grind them and we're relentless for that full 70 minutes. We knew it would take that whole 70 minutes to win the game, and we just kept playing consistently for that time and outran them in the end.
So the Aussies remain the team to beat in Beijing. The Black Sticks will have to go through the long haul. They'll have to battle for qualification like several others in Auckland, New Zealand on the 2nd of February 2008. The women's final, as expected, was played out between the two best teams, but the New Zealand team pulled off a big upset, beating the Hockeyroos 1-0 in the final. As far as the Olympics go, the result is inconsequential. The top two teams still make it to Beijing. The southern Indian metropolis of Chennai is our next destination. The city, which hosted the 2005 Champions Trophy, was in focus once again as India attempted to defend their Asia Cup title at the Mayor Radhakrishnan Stadium. After a week and a half of high-quality action, the final was played out between the holders India and Asian champions Korea. It was expected to be a tough game, but the Indians struck form at just the right time to demolish Korea 7-1.
काफ़ी बड़ा अचीवमेंट है. Don't lose a single match, otherwise हमेशा हमारा टीम जो है we have to wait for the other teams to play their matches, and हमारा जो result उनका ऊपर depend करता है. लेकिन इस बार हम we have been on a roll and we have won all our matches.
India's success in hockey was immediately followed by a victory in the first ever 2020 Cricket World Cup in South Africa. Cricket is India's #1 sport, and the wave of appreciation culminated in the cricketers receiving huge rewards from their state governments. The hockey triumph was completely forgotten, not just by the public, but also the government, says Cavallo.
We don't want processions and garlands and all that. We just want a recognition for our efforts where we won the Asia Cup. My question is, where were the same state governments when we won the Asia Cup? Can't they recognize their players from their own respective statuses from the states? That is what is upsetting us. We are not worried about the monetary benefits. What is upsetting us is the recognition not given by the state governments to their people from the state.
The team will now concentrate on the Olympic qualifier in Chile, where they'll need to ensure that India do not miss the Olympics for the first time since 1928. The Netherlands' success at the European Nations Championship owed much to the form of their penalty corner specialist, Taki Takema. The 27-year-old from the little Dutch town of Leiderdorp scored 16 times in just 5 matches to take his team to a superb victory, and with it, a place in the Olympics. But just a few weeks before the event, Takema's place was in doubt due to a long-standing injury.
I broke my foot 13 months ago, so it took me, after the World Cup, I recovered for over 10 months to actually get fit again. So yeah, I'm 100% healthy, and I'm fit as well. I've been training since the end of April, one-on-one with the physiotherapist, My fracture of my foot was healed in February, but I had some complications after that. So I was in a cast for 11 weeks, 2-time surgery. I had some pins put in and taken out again, so it was all quite heavy. But now, since the end of April, I've been building up, and yeah, so far so good.
Having played nearly 8 years for the national side, Takimar's won over 150 caps and scored more goals than he can remember. It's taken a toll on his body, and he's had more than his fair share of injuries over the years. But the central defender remains philosophical.
Penalty corners flickers in general, they put a lot of stress on their body with a lot of extra training, and as well the motion puts a lot of stress on bones and on muscles and on tendons. So yeah, the extra training plus the actual motion together puts it that. I think that injury flickers in general struggle sometimes with their fitness.
One of Takimar's finest moments came during the European semi-finals against Belgium, where he scored 6 times as the Dutch pulverised their southern neighbours 7-2. And his form throughout the tournament has prompted many to dub him the world's best drag flicker. But Takimar remains modest about the accolades.
I wouldn't say per se I'm the best flicker in the world. I think with Sahila Bas, Pakistan has got one of the major ones in my eyes. Christopher Zeller from Germany is also a very good flicker, and Sandeep Singh obviously is very good as well. I think the one thing everybody has in common, perform under pressure. Like on a practice pitch, pitch number 5, everybody can flick a ball, but it's when 2 minutes from the end, when it's 1-0, when you really have to perform, I think then the major forces, they actually step up then.
The Dutch have thrown up some of the best penalty corner experts the game has ever seen. And Takimar's a worthy successor to the likes of Ties Kreuzer, Taco van den Honert and Floris-Jan Vovelander, beating opponents with guile rather than just force.
With my flick, I think most of it is disguise, deception, that combined obviously with some speed and power. But I don't think I've got the fastest flick in the world. I think there will be guys that flick the ball harder. But in general, I think my flick must be quite hard to read for goalkeepers with my deception.
While it's his success at penalty corners that's brought him fame, Takimar is keen to be recognised for more than just his skills from the top of the circle.
First and foremost, I'm just a hockey player. I play central defender. I'm a fullback for my team, and that is the main role that I have. So I do all the practice for that, and that I see myself as a hockey player that also has the ability to flick corners and not the other way around.
With qualification out of the way, Takimar's now turning his sights towards Beijing.
I think it's massive. I think for every single hockey player, it's the biggest tournament by a long way.
Having already won the silver medal in Athens, Takimar's looking to go one better in Beijing. Coming up after the break, we take a look at a man with a formidable reputation for scoring goals, Spain's Santi Fresher. And there's the Dutch super coach, Herman Cruyff, imparting his knowledge to the Indian women. In this month's ABN AMRO World Men's Rankings, Australia gained top spot after the Oceania Cup, Germany slide to second, the Dutch are at third. Tournament runners-up at the Euro Hockey, Spain are in fourth. Second place at the Asia Cup gives Korea fifth, Pakistan dropped to sixth. Pan American champions Argentina seventh, eighth place the newly crowned Asia champions India, England up to ninth, and New Zealand dropped to 10th. In the ABN AMRO Women's Rankings, the Netherlands are on top despite defeat in the Euro Hockey. Then Argentina, Germany thanks to that Euro Hockey triumph. Australia at fourth after losing in the Oceania Cup. A third place in Hong Kong keeps China fifth. Japan are at sixth. New Zealand storm up to seventh. Spain follow behind in eighth. Korea lost a close Asia Cup final, they're ninth. And England are in 10th. As Spain set out to defend their European Championship crown in Manchester, they know they have to do it without their talismanic striker, Santi Freixa, who'd been knocked out with a broken meniscus. In the end, while Spain didn't quite manage to rule Europe again, they did manage second, which is enough to see them achieving their first objective, Olympic qualification. No mean feat without their finest player.
Oh man, let's face it, you take away Takema from the Dutch, you take away Ziller from the Germans, you take away Santi Freixa from the Spanish, you're taking away serious quality. And I'm just very happy for Santi as well, who's had a very tough time, that the team is qualified.
For Santi, the semi-final win over Germany was sweet revenge after the horrors of the World Cup, where he missed a stroke in the penalty shootout as Spain crashed out in the semi-final.
The semi-final against the German team, it was an emotional game because we lost in Mönchengladbach in the World Cup. We lost the semi-final against them by penalty strokes. We achieved the final, we achieved the passport to the Olympic. So it was an amazing match, and I feel as I played the match.
The event itself was a tough one to sit out for Santi, who wears his heart on his sleeve.
Sharing the competition with my teammates, it's wonderful because when you stay at home watching the games by TV, it's so tough. But watching the games outside the field, it's amazing. It's so nervous. Feeling the match as I'm playing, but it's something strange, no? Because I've been playing with the national team during the last 6 years, and now for an injury I cannot play, so it's strange and I feel so nervous.
Spain's biggest concern was who would convert the short corners, but to Santi's relief, Xavi Ribas stepped up.
He's my teammate, he's my club mate, so I'm very happy. He now has the opportunities, all the opportunities during the game, and he's scoring a lot of goals, so I'm very happy for him.
This is a crucial period for Santi as he begins his rehabilitation, not in his hometown Terrassa, but in Holland.
I'm going to play in Amsterdam this year, so I'm going to stay with the physios in Holland, and I will introduce the hockey step by step for my knee. So I hope at the beginning of the competition, the Dutch competition, I can start playing.
While Spain overcame Santi's absence in Manchester, it's not something they'd want to try again. He's the real deal, one of the few who can lay claim to have moulded a truly great hockey team. And if there's anything Dutchman Herman Cruyff knows better than the taste of success, it's the amount of perspiration that precedes it. It's just that sort of work ethic that Cruyff seeks to impart to his latest wards, the Indian women's hockey team. He was recently in the North Indian city of Lucknow as a foreign consultant under a programme undertaken by the FIH and the Indian Hockey Federation.
I was asked maybe April in this year. They asked me to think about a project of the FIH, which is helping India to think about new development in international hockey. And it seems to me a very interesting job to do. And I say, yes, I do that. I'm here to help the coaches, and I'm here to help the team. I'm not the head coach, no. I give leading now in the training, and I'm talking with the staff about technical and tactical things they can improve.
The first task, bridging the language barrier, was made easy by team coach G.S. Bangu and some English-speaking players in the team. From then onwards, it was like any tough conditioning camp, long busting routines, followed by valuable feedback from the Dutchmen.
They have very good things at first, technical skills sometimes very, very good. In the Netherlands we can learn a lot of them, but in tactical defending tactics or pressing or that kind of exercises, that's difficult for them because they are not thinking in defending. And we try to learn them step by step how to receive a ball, how you have to look around, how you have to play immediately, and to try to improve the Indian hockey.
A Grade 1 FIH coach, he comes with an impressive resume, having won the 2007 Indoor World Cup at Vienna earlier this year. He took over the Hertogenbosch women's indoor hockey team in the year 2000, sparking off a victory run of 7 successive European championships. But he insists it would be wrong to expect miracles in India.
India is standing on the 13th place, and I think one of the first goals is the qualification in April to the Olympics. There's a long way, and I promised the Indian Hockey Federation to help them to think about the way to go to that qualification. When you are starting with a team like this, and you spend a lot of time to physical and technical and tactical, don't expect it back in 15 days. But I think when we are in April, then you can ask me how is now.
The team has been found wanting in areas such as fitness and strategy, but it has in its ranks some gifted players like striker Mamta Karab, a player who first made a name for herself by scoring the winning goal in the 2002 Commonwealth Games final. To this date, that remains the Indian women's team's finest achievement, but now the coach wants it to change.
Senior players are examples for your team, and when the senior players working very hard in the fitness exercises, then the young stars going with. When the senior players don't do that and they see a senior player is going down, then they, oh, she can relax, I can relax. So it's very important for the senior players to be a good example for the team.
4th place at the recently concluded Asia Cup suggests India have a long way to go before Olympic requalification. But the number 13 ranked team in the world has found an unlikely benefactor in the Indian film industry.
A movie like this is very stimulated for Indian hockey. I think a lot of young children who see the movie think, hey, that's nice, I will be a star in the Indian team. I liked it, and they are going on hockey, and that's a very important thing for Indian hockey. When then the coaches of the colleges and the coaches on the school will improve to international hockey and will thinking about new skills, and they bring it over to the new generation, it will be very hard.
The movie seems to have struck an emotional chord in the audiences and the players as well. The girls carrying CDs of the film's music in their kit bag for inspiration. The guidance of someone like Herman Cruyff could be just a tonic for a team hungry for success. Next month on ABN AMRO World Hockey, we chart the progress of Team Belgium, the surprise package of this year's Euro Hockey.